And now, Liz Klayman and Tyler.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Mark. Here's what's making news at this hour. The Institute for Supply Management Services data is due out in just seconds from now. We'll bring you the number as soon as it's released. Oil surpasses $60 a barrel as Tropical Storm Cindy hits the Gulf of Mexico. And the G8 summit gets underway today. Ron Insana is live in Scotland. He'll have a report for you.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Call. I'm Tyler Matheson in for Ted David today.
Bill.
Nice to be back with you.
Good to have you. And I'm Liz Klayman.
And the Institute for Supply Management due out now with its services index for June. A closely watched number. Forecasts call for a modest decline there to 58 even from 58.5 in May. Now remember, here with this particular series of data, any number above 50 marks an expansion in the services sector activity. And it came out at 62.2, 62.2, and so that is much higher than the outlook, better than the outlook, which was 58 even. Excuse me. For a closer look at the numbers, let's check in now with our senior economics reporter, Steve Leisman. Steve, what does this say to you?
It says that growth is perhaps stronger than we believe, which is a theme we've been talking about here. This 62 number is quite a bit higher than the forecast, which was around 58. And I'm looking closely, Tyler. They're separate ways. Again, it's not a big thing, but it's coming on. It's getting some attention.
Thanks very much for that report. And as you talked about that employment report Friday, ahead of that June employment report from the government, Challenger, Gray, and Christmas out with its monthly report on the labor markets. It shows job cut announcements rose 35% in June to 110,996. That's the highest total since January of last year. And later on Morning Call, CEO John Challenger will break down the numbers. That'll come up in about a half an hour from now at about 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
And since the ISM non-manufacturing number came out, we've seen the Dow +7. Now it's to the downside. Now moving up just fractionally, but it appears that stocks are really treading water. Oil is not treading any kind of water. It's climbing above the $60 a barrel level once again. Look at light sweet up 76 cents to $60.35. A lot of that has to do with Tropical Storm Cindy. We are watching that in the Gulf of Mexico, possibly adding a lot of concern, certainly, for what's happening with the refineries down in that region. Dow Jones Industrials for the moment, and as I said, it's been jumping up and down below and above that line. Dow Jones is down 1 2/3 to 10,369 for the blue chips. NASDAQ is up 4 points to 2,082. And the S&P 500 is down fractionally to 1204. Checking the 10 and the 5-year. 10-year yield is at 4.09% at the moment as the price of the bond climbs. And we have the 5-year T-note up, that yield down to 3.89%. The U.S. dollar continues to just pile it on with this rally. Against the euro, it's at $1.1915. Higher against the yen and the pound sterling in advance of what is expected to be a pretty decent payrolls number on Friday. Gold up 60 cents after falling yesterday, standing at $424.50 a troy ounce. But we need the inside scoop and the inside story down at the New York Stock Exchange. For that, we have our Bob Pisani. Hi, Bob.
Good morning, Liz. And it is a very mixed open here. They wanted a little bit stronger volume because beginning of the quarter, usually you get a little bit of a pickup. It hasn't really happened yesterday. We got some early morning orders and then died in late afternoon, kind of slower here as well on a Wednesday morning. Let's take a look at the markets at the open. As I said, it's been a mixed open. A little bit of a reversal from yesterday. The dollar is down, but remember, the dollar is near 52-week highs against the euro. Bond yields are to the downside a little bit, but remember, bond yields have been moving up recently. So a little bit of a reversal from the last few days of trading. Energy stocks are again the leaders. Far and away, we have new highs yesterday, historic highs in the Amex Oil Index and the Oil Services Index as well here. I mentioned the S&P mid-cap and small-cap indices hitting historic highs. This is more important than it used to be because you can buy these indices as exchange-traded funds now, and ETFs or exchange-traded funds are a bigger part of the marketplace. Virtually every week, they get money going into them, so they're more important as we see these indices hit new highs here. If you're wondering why are they moving up and hitting new highs, there are certain sectors that are moving these indexes, particularly the mid-cap. Retailers, home builders, and oil service stocks are the reason that particular index is moving to the upside. Stocks that are moving Some of the restaurants are a bit weak here today. For example, International House of Pancakes, IHOP, is weak, one of the big movers at the New York Stock Exchange. The stock was downgraded over at Raymond James. I don't have the details on the letter. I'll get it for you the next hour. Ruby Tuesday also was downgraded. Darden downgraded as well. And you can see those stocks are weak. Maytag is down a little bit. Remember, they've got an offer from higher of $16. The Chinese company, Ripplewood, is offered $14. Article in the Financial Times said Maytag might end their takeover discussions with the consortium led by Haier earlier than expected. Remember, Ripplewood had issued warnings a short while ago about continuing those discussions. So that stock down a little bit here. And some at the NASDAQ.
Hi, Bob. Thank you very much. Well, the lift that we're getting in the market is in large measure because we're getting some buying power once again under the semiconductors. So the SOX index is up by about 1%, with Intel up by 0.7%. And then we have some deals to talk about. And this is kind of an interesting situation because you don't often see that both the acquirer and the acquiree company are both lower. And that's what's happening as Zion picks up or confirms their acquisition of Amegy Bank. And basically, it's not much of a premium, 1.5%. It's a $1.7 billion deal. Zion is paying $23.32 a share for Amegy. It's to basically get into that fast-growing Texas market. Oracle is up a handy 1.5%. Oracle is making an acquisition, privately held Profit Logic. We don't have deal terms. Bank of America thinks that the acquisition is somewhere in the $75 million to $100 million range, and they think it's a good strategic fit out there. And then let's talk about doing business in China. eBay plans to launch PayPal in China probably by the end of this year. eBay is up by 56 cents. And California Pizza Kitchen, they have debuted in Shanghai, China. That stock down by 71 cents. And then an interesting story staying in Asia. This has to do with Sanyo Electric. And it is not often we hear about a Japanese company making an aggressive restructuring. They are cutting 15% of their workforce and closing some of their factories. And then very quickly, OSIP, this is another interesting stock. It's moving up by better than 1%. They have been granted a priority review from the FDA for Tarceva for pancreatic cancer. Stock is up by 45 cents. One quick reminder, and that is to let people know they can always log on to cnbc.com on MSN and take a look at those market dispatches. Isn't that right, Tyler?
You bet, Leslie. Thanks very much. Leslie LaRoche, Bob Pisani. Moving on, the battle for Unocal heats up. In an interview with the Financial Times, Chevron's vice...
The games of the 30th Olympiad in 2012 are awarded to the city of London. London.
Oh, look at that. The cheers coming up. You heard it from International Olympic Committee President Jacques Vogel, and London has beaten out a stunned runner-up Paris for the 2012 Olympic Games. I mean, Paris had such a great logo, they thought they had it. New York, Moscow, and Madrid were eliminated in earlier rounds of voting. What do the Games mean now for London and its economy? CNBC World's Dan Mann is in the Victorious City. Hi, Dan.
Hi, good to see you, Liz. Liz, you know we need no encouragement to get in the pubs any earlier. I can tell you there's a very good steady trade going through this lunchtime. Let's get serious for a few seconds then, Liz. What does it all mean? What does it all mean for the economy of London? Now, a lot of money needs to be spent, we know, on the imps. The total budget for these games is $1.5 billion.
PE makes a sky-high deal with CIT. We will fill you in on that.
And Olympic celebrations aren't the only big thing going on in the UK today. World leaders gathering for the G8 summit in Scotland. What does it mean for American companies and for you? Ron and Sana with a live report from Scotland when Morning Call comes right